Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, November 18th. So the moon is going to be in Taurus again all day. We are very much in the full moon eclipse window as of right now. Again, building up to this moon event that will be taking place in the wee hours tomorrow morning. Again, if you have not listened to the energy forecast for this particular moon event, please do so. If you have not downloaded your moon guide, please do that as well. I create them for a reason. It is the easiest, most affordable way to invest in yourself and do the shadow work, the spiritual work necessary with each one of these moon phases in order to get you aligned and on track. There are 8 different aspects taking place here today. 6 of them involve the moon. May I remind you, the moon in Taurus is a little bit low, a little bit slow, very focused on this physical realm. We want to really nurture what it is that's taking place in our mind, body, and soul. We want to focus on the physical joys, the physical pleasures of this particular realm. And the moon in Taurus really does want to put the blinders on and focus on the here and now, on what is tangible, what is logical, what is in our face, what we have control over, which at this point is not very much. That is why many of us are feeling a little bit wonky, a little bit pressurized, a little bit chaotic, a little bit out of control. The sun makes an aspect with Saturn right out of the gate, and this is a positive one. We have the sun in Scorpio wrapping up the final days of Scorpio season. We are in the transformational stage. We've gone through the purge. We've gone through the release. We've gone through the breakdown. We've gone through the regeneration stage. We're still kind of in the renewal stage, the rebirthing stage, but now we have to wrap this up. We have a huge transformation to do, mind, body, and soul, before we're going to see it in our physical realms. Saturn, of course, the Lord of Karma, really focus on the systems and structures that we currently have in play that are not strong enough to support our dreams and moving forward. We've all had a huge shakeup. We've all had a huge wake up. We are now trying to rediscover whether or not the path that we've currently been pursuing is the right one for us. There's been a lot of information and details that have emerged that have totally changed the game in our heart space, in our mental plane, in the physical plans that we had. So the sun and Saturn right now is illuminating where it is that we need a little bit of control, where it is on the smaller things. When we're feeling out of control, we have to focus in on what it is that we have control over. We have control over our thoughts, over our emotions, what it is that we put into our bodies. The information, the food that goes into our bodies is a choice. And all of that is helping to really clean the vessel in which we are. We are electrical conductors. We have to clean the vessel in order to get the best signal coming in. The sun in Scorpio making this aspect with Saturn in Aquarius is definitely showing us long-term the things that we are sure about, because again, the plan keeps changing. The things that we are sure about, the things that we are kind of having excitement and passion about, the things that we know to be true as far as our true desires and missions go, that's what we have to focus on. And the transformation is great because right now we have to boss up. We do have this ability to boss up, to stop whining, to push ourselves outside of victimhood. And we do have an opportunity in our day-to-day lives, in the here and now, to make very small baby moves in order to align with what it is that we know for certain, what it is we know to be true when we think of the dreams, visions, and goals that we're now actually putting into play. Mars is going to be making a very positive aspect with Pluto. Now, Mars rules over Scorpio season. Pluto rules over Scorpio season. Mars is in Scorpio. Pluto's in Capricorn. What does this scream? It screams listening to our intuition, listening to the new passions and desires, taking action on recognizing that Plutonian energy is trying to illuminate the darker parts of life, the darker parts of our mind space, of our heart space. And what are we going to do? We're going to push through it. We're going to muster up the will, the courage, the bravery to look our shadow in the face and say, you're not holding me back anymore. I'm on my way. I'm building new structures, new foundations. I'm telling myself a new narrative. I'm emotionally tapping in to the pain and the trauma, the uncertainty, the fear that Plutonian energy is bringing up, and I'm going to ball it up and use it as fuel to motivate me, to inspire me to continuously push forward, taking an action to align with whatever it is that we are currently having doubts about in order to take just one powerful little tiny baby step in the right direction. Mercury, who is in Scorpio, ruling over the mental plane, but really tying in our intuition with our logical, practical mindset, is going to be trining Neptune. This is a beautiful opportunity for aha moments, for downloads, for inspiration. We're definitely having a brand new energy take over, and it likely will be coming in first and foremost intuitively in our gut, in our heart space. And then we take it up to that mental plane. We really start sorting through the details, sorting through the information, processing it in a different way, and realistically diving deep into our soul work to say, not only does this feel right, but it actually makes practical and logical sense. This is a very good energy for us to work with because we are gaining a little bit of strength with our intuition that we have lost over the last couple of days because of the chaos that has been created in the cosmos. The moon then goes ahead and makes a very beautiful aspect with Neptune as well. This is really going to pull us in a more positive direction, a more intuitive direction, very much focused on what it is that we are currently thinking and feeling as far as the kind of dream, the kind of vision, the aha moments, the inspiration, the new passions, the new desires that are being downloaded into us. And of course, sitting with it, trying to make sense of it. Is it a time of action? No, not really. Full moons aren't for that, especially eclipse energy. We kind of surrender to eclipse energy and just see where the cards are going to fall. And so the moon making this aspect with Neptune right now, this is a good signal that we're getting our intuition back on track, that our heart and our head are working very vigorously in order to get back on the same page. And then, of course, the moon goes ahead and is conflicting just a tad, sitting opposite to Mercury. Of course, Tauran energy opposes Scorpio energy. And right now, the moon in Taurus wants to stick to what is logical and practical in this present moment, just wants to put the blinders on, stick to what is and what was, and stick with the old, tried, tested, and true. And here Mercury is over here in Scorpio saying, you know what? You can't. You got to open your mind. You got to open your heart. We have new downloads coming in. We have new passions arising. We really have to get on the same page, communicating very effectively when it's possible on these new realizations that we're having, on these new plans that continuously are changing. It's time for an aha moment, and it's time to communicate that a little bit more loud for the people in the back. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and make a not so nice aspect with Chiron, the wounded healer, and a square, a tension point, a conflict with Jupiter. This is basically highlighting for us where it is that we're afraid to step out of our comfort zone, where it is that we're afraid to leave the old, tried, tested, and true behind, where it is that we are afraid to take the blinders off and to open our minds and see what is possible, because that is even more unfamiliar territory than the territory that we're currently in. And of course, when Jupiter is involved, Jupiter just wants us to grow and expand, but he also magnifies whatever is going on emotionally and mentally at that particular time and turns the volume all the way up. And let me tell you, we have a tendency right now to be a little bit extra, a little bit of a whiner, a little bit of the victim mentality. May I remind you, we are in the peak energy window of the full moon, which tends to illuminate the not so nice thoughts and feelings within us so that we can create a framework of what it is we want to move away from and what it is we want to move closer to. The problem is the moon in Taurus doesn't want to do either, just wants to put the blinders on and kind of just pretend that everything is well, everything is great. The moon is going to end off the day with a trine with Pluto, and this is going to be our boss up. This is going to be a huge emotional push forward, a huge mental acceptance of what is going on. We recognize, okay, we do have to take the blinders off. We do have to open up our minds. We do have to open up our hearts. We do have to realize that we don't want to stay here anymore. What are we going to do about it? We're going to transform. Are we going to take an action and transform in the here and now? No. Do we recognize that a transformation is happening in our heart space and in our head? Yes. Are we going to have a hard time sleeping tonight, moving into this full moon lunar eclipse energy? Probably. So when you're awake, when you're tossing and turning, please choose the narrative in which you are going to stay all up all night, all awake with, because it could be one of absolute fear and trauma and paralysis, or it could be one of anger and frustration that motivates you to never sit in this particular point in time, emotionally, mentally, or physically ever again.